Hey, Barbie.
Hey, Barbie.
Welcome to Hey, Julie, a podcast about Barbie and Julie Chen and J. Robert Oppenheimer. My name is Brett.
My name's Danielle.
Hi, Danielle. Here we are on a Monday night.
I
Look at us.
know. So late. So late.
I know. Well, we needed to see Barbenheimer this weekend.
We made a sacred vow that we would go to the movies and see Barbie and or Oppenheimer. Brett
And
withheld his vow.
between the two of us, one of us has seen both movies.
Yeah, exactly. So we actually have a lot to talk about.
I thought you were going to I thought when we spoke last week that you said that you had Barbie plans for the weekend, but seeing two was going to be too much to handle for a young mother.
Yeah.
I was mistaken. You saw no movies this weekend. I did all the work.
Brett's carrying this podcast. I sent Brett a list of what I wanted to talk about, and it's like Barbenheimer, but then it's like Doja Cat hates her fans. It's like all these random, like,
and you're like The Rock,
Adrian Brody.
The Rock. I'm like, the movie, the actor, is there a rock that has like done? Is there like a piece of large sediment that has done something? I don't know. And you're like, oh, the donation. I'm like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. So
Listen,
we're gonna have.
Not to be like hoity-toity, like great literary mind, one of the greatest minds of our nation, like Oppenheimer, great but wretched. I spent a lot of time this past week reading a book, so I haven't watched that much, so I don't have that much to talk about.
It's kind of why we didn't pod over the weekend.
Like, yeah, exactly.
Talk about.
I was like, I need Brett to see these movies.
Because I'm not.
Yeah, I could not do it. It was not possible. So we are going to get into it.
Danielle, I'm just going to talk about the movies for 45 minutes, and you can ask me questions. I'm going to try not to spoil too much.
That's okay.
I'm going to start off by saying this. Danielle, the movies are back.
We are so back.
We are so back. Even if for one instance, maybe we're only going to get one weekend like this every 5 years, every 10 years. The movies are back. It was so amazing going to the theater, and there is a line just to get your ticket scanned. It was packed. It felt like freaking Independence Day came out. It was 1996. And like people were just lining up to go to the movies. And so I saw Oppenheimer in IMAX at 2:30 p.m.
Yeah.
And then I saw Barbie in the same theater at 7:30 p.m.
Wow.
And when I left Barbie at 9:45, the longest line I had seen of the day was still forming to get the ticket scanned or ticket torn, however they were doing it.
Were people dressed up at your theater?
Oh my God.
Aw, so fun.
Oh my God. So many people dressed up. I wouldn't say that there were many Oppenheimer dressed up.
We were dressed as Albert Einstein.
People wearing a suit from 1941.
Big pants.
Lots of people wearing pink of all genders, spectrums of genders, sizes, everything.
Beautiful.
Love it. Lots of people wearing Barbenheimer merch, like a pink shirt with like the silhouette of Cillian Murphy on there. But not a lot of people wearing like a fedora.
Full oppie. Okay.
But it was so exciting. It was just there. It felt like going to the movies again in the 90s, where it was just like packed. People are lining up. Like people are there for the weekend. This is what we did. Sorry, teens and tweens. We didn't spend all weekend at home on TikTok or just like watching something on Netflix. This is what people did. So that was great. Shall I start with Oppenheimer, which I'm sure probably less people want to hear about?
Really quick, I just have a question.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's a shock to anyone that this was like a massive weekend in movie ticket sales, box office. You're describing the fervor, the excitement with which people brought to the movie-going experience, something Tom Cruise has been trying to, fan the flames
popcorn.
Of. Yeah, exactly. And this was a very successful weekend of that. They're both making a ton of money, very successful. Do you think the movie studios are taking the correct lesson from
No,
this? Okay.
no, no. I mean, I'm sure there'll be a push for a
Just
Barbie
more toy
sequel.
movies. That's what they're gonna say.
Yeah, I mean, that's what Mattel is trying to like. But I don't know how Mattel got this movie made because this movie is wild. I'll
Yeah.
just say this: both movies are excellent. Both movies were excellent. My coccyx hurts from how much I was sitting
Oh my.
all day next to the two chairs. Uh, both movies were excellent in completely different ways, but it, they were great. I loved both of them. Barbie is like an instant like classic. You know,
Did you ever see Barb Star?
yeah. I think
Okay.
we probably talked about it on this pod.
It was one of my
That
favorite
was
movies.
yeah. Barbie is like an instant comedy classic. People are
Right.
going to be watching and quoting this movie for the next 30 years. It is. I guess we'll do Barbie first. Okay.
Okay, let's do Barbie first.
Barbie's great. Barbie's fantastic. It's one of those movies, much like Megan, where within 2 minutes you're like, this movie is brilliant and knows exactly what it is, and this movie is something special.
Yeah.
And it was just like that for 2 freaking hours.
It's great.
It is so unbelievably funny. It is so smart. It is so smart. It is so, you know, I'm a man, obviously. Like this movie's for women. Like all the stupid stuff that we were retweeting from the Hey Julie account of like
Yeah.
these various right-wing influencers or
Barbie
whatever
has
being like,
gone woke.
Barbie has gone woke. It's a 2-hour woke fest made to make men feel bad about being themselves. Here's the thing. All those guys are right. It is a 2-hour woke fest about patriarchy and about like destroying it. And that's why it was great.
That's why we like it.
This movie is awesome. This
Yeah.
movie is really good. Even I was getting emotional as a man. I was
Aw.
like, wow, like this is something I've never seen on screen before. Like how this movie treats women and presents them. And it very much investigates the idea of like, there's this universe of toy lines that says Barbie can be anyone. She can be an astronaut. She can be a doctor. She can be the president. She can be this. And then juxtaposing that with that world we actually live in today. I'm not going to like spoil, but obviously, like, hey, you know, look at look at some of our former presidents. Look at the world we live in today.
Yeah.
It investigates this idea in a really, really fun way. And oh my God. And like, it's so fucking funny. There's just so many jokes in this movie and sight gags and the design of it. You know, you have a great cast. Gosling is like
I hear whispers of an Oscar nomination.
My big take of the day is best supporting Oscar is a 2-man race, and both men were in movies that came out on July 21st. It's Ryan Gosling and it's Robert Downey Jr. in Oppenheimer.
Wow. Well, Robert Downey Jr. I mean, where's he been? He needed a career comeback too.
He's been sitting on that Tony Stark.
Iron Man cash. I know, but like he's too interesting an actor. That I mean, you could say that about a lot of actors, but way too interesting an actor to only be in Marvel slop for the rest of his life. So I'm glad
he's done. He's
different.
done.
Good.
He's done. Well, we'll go back to Barbie. The interesting thing about Barbie, there's a lot of great stuff. I'm not going to spoil it. Go see this movie. Like if you like this podcast, you're going to love it. No, there's other stuff. Okay, sorry. What was your question?
Well, everyone knows Margot is like the perfect Barbie, and Ryan Gosling's getting a lot of love for Ken. But other than those two, who was your favorite actor or character in Barbie? Who was the best Barbie?
Michael Cera.
Okay.
Is really good in it. Michael Cera's is really great as this like random guy in the universe, Alan. He's like really funny and gets like a lot of stuff to do. Kate McKinnon is really strong in it, like as you know, like the sort of Barbie that's been played with too much.
Roughed up.
What was the doll that Angelica had in the Rugrats? The one who had like half her hair pulled out and stuff.
Cynthia.
So basically, it's sort of like that. Like there's like a slight mechanic in it where like if the doll is played with in a certain way, in like a destructive way in the real world, that is manifested in the Barbie world, and that's why that Kate McKinnon one is just like the one that's like had her hair burnt and like permanent marker drawn on her face.
Right.
I would say, I don't know, there's a ton of Barbies in this movie. There's a ton of Kens in this movie. There's like 10 each that have like decent speaking roles in this, not to mention like so many throwaway ones as well. The actress who plays the journalist from The Idol, from our favorite show, who works at like
is
Vanity
that Hari
Fair.
Neff?
Yes, I don't know anyone's names. Yeah, she's
Neff?
one of the, she's a good Barbie. Issa Rae is a good Barbie. The on the Ken side, you have Simu Liu from Shang-Chi in it, and then Canadian, and then what's his name? He was in, I think he was in Dungeons, and Dragons.
No way.
Kingsley Ben-Adir.
Oh my God. You could have made that name up.
No, you know him. He's like very hot. He's like
Kingsley Ben-Adir? Oh my gosh. That's like a name from a Jane Austen novel.
You know this guy. We've talked about him on the podcast.
Rene Jean?
No, Kingsley Ben-Adir. No, not Rene Jean-Paul. Jean-Page. That's a different guy. This one was in the whatchamacallit?
He's the other one in okay. He's the other guy.
He's good. He's good. He's one of the good.
Yeah, he's good.
Everyone in this movie is fantastic.
He's the nerd.
So I saw this movie, packed house. Both of these were like completely sold out, and people were just like cheering and laughing and like reciting the Nicole Kidman AMC thing. Like fully, there are just some riotous moments of this movie. One of the interesting parts of it is I had always been planning to see this movie at like 11 p.m., which was stupid because like I go to sleep at 10. So I don't know how that was going to happen. Eventually I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm going to see it at 7 o'clock. I'm like kind of nervous there's going to be a bunch of families there because it's like ostensibly a family film. There were no children there at all.
Isn't it like PG-13?
This movie is PG-13, and I will also say, I apologize as I spit, requires possibly a like freshman level, I'm not like saying this in a derogatory way, a sort of like freshman level introductory to gender studies course to have been taken. Like
well, most 13-year-olds aren't gonna have that.
I know. I guess that's the thing, is like I guess most 13-year-olds are like yeah, obviously.
But they're of a different generation. Maybe they already know it, right? Like,
but like you watch this movie and you're like, I'm glad I went to college, because they are like really investigating a lot of ideas in a really academic sort of way here that's like covered with a lot of like sight gags about the fact that like they, they're all dolls who don't have boobs or genitals or anything like that. So obviously it's like triggering to Ben Shapiro. Go piss, girl. Like have a bad time. But it's meant to be that way, and people are gonna love this movie for a long, long, long time. And I kind of I'm like confused as to like what a 10-year-old would get out of that movie. I just feel like so much would go over their heads. But also, to your point, 10-year-olds are like much more versed, and
they have the woke mind virus more than us.
Yeah, they were born with it. They were born with it.
It's because of the COVID vaccines.
Maybe she's born with it. Maybe it's the woke mind virus. Just what a fantastic movie. There's a sequence towards the end that, I mean, there's a lot of like really quick cut montage sequences where it's like they have a joke and they just run out like 8 different punchlines on the joke super fast. And there is a part that I screamed and cackled laughing so hard at, and I've just never felt more represented in cinema. There's a sequence where the Kens are all mansplaining to a bunch of different Barbies, and they're doing something else that's related to the plot, and like the setup for it is every time they kind of cut to a new one, like the Ken is caught in a bit of a mansplain. And one of the mansplains was so personally about me that I shrieked laughing.
like hashtag exposed or what?
Yeah,
Yeah.
basically. I mean, more
Was it
people have
about
seen it.
podcasting?
No, it was about listening to Pavement.
Oh. Well,
There is
I
a
don't
joke about the band Pavement in
Okay.
Barbie, which is like very, very related to me.
Very specific.
Yeah, no, it was. You know what? I've never felt more represented and more seen, even at my own expense. So I love it.
So 2 thumbs up from Brett on Barbie.
Yes,
And
2 thumbs
now
up. Can't wait to see it.
we crossed the theater.
Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, my thumbs remain in the up position because 2 thumbs up on Oppenheimer. These movies are both like 9 out of 10 for me. Like,
What's a 10 out of 10?
What's a 10 out of 10?
Wow.
I mean, Boogie
Didn't
Nights is like a
see
10 out
that
of
coming.
10. Like the first 2 Sunrise movies are 10s out of 10s.
Oh, Linklater.
Linklater, yeah. If I have a complaint about Barbie, and I'll share, like, that was a kind of didn't give it the 10 out of 10. There were a couple moments where I was like, "Ugh, okay. Even I, who like agree with like the preachy nature of it all, I'm like, okay, here we go. So, and then also like I think the resolution of it, like they kind of really struggled to come up with a resolution to the movie, and it just sort of ends almost. It's not. They don't do the same thing, but in a similar, just sort of like Wayne's World way, where they're like, "Hey, it's time for the ending now," sort of, kind of thing. And yeah, and they kind of mix a bit of like meta stuff with a bit of like incredibly emotional stuff there. The combination of which and the substance of which didn't totally work for me, but like what I really don't mind. Like, I'm not going to ding it that much. Like the movie was so good. Aside from that, it didn't. Parts of the ending not working for me is not really that much of a complaint. And to move over to Oppenheimer, I have some complaints about Oppenheimer too that make it like not a 10 out of 10.
Well, give me the good stuff first. First, what's it about?
Oh my god. I am not mansplaining World War II to Danielle. She asked me first. Audience. J. Robert Oppenheimer is the father of the atomic bomb.
The father.
He developed
Daddy.
the technology. He was the scientist who like led the group of scientists to build the atomic bomb that was dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And he kind of is like, didn't feel great about it, for obvious reasons.
Oh.
Didn't feel great about it. Also, the movie takes place like across like 2 decades, like from the 20s until or maybe 3, like into the 50s. So there's this entire other element of like, he's kind of like into communism a little bit. He's dating Florence Pugh. She's a communist.
Okay.
He's like, brother is a communist. So there's a lot of, so anyways, what you think of is the movie, you watch the trailers and it's just like men building bombs and looking scared and looking like, this movie is like 3-hour. This movie, actually, you know what this movie is very similar to for me is Social Network, in that it is, for the most part, a incredibly fast-paced explainer on a subject that is framed with throughout the entire film with these various legal depositions that are happening as a result of like what happened in the main, like the A plot of the movie. So we're learning about how he, read all the books to build a bomb and how he built the bomb and how they bombed Japan.
So the movie doesn't end after he bombs it and everyone goes, America #1.
Oh no, there is another 45 minutes of men yelling at each other in courtrooms.
USA, USA. Okay.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of that in the movie, but also it's like that stuff is like bothersome to him because he's like, am I the person who just like doomed humanity by inventing this technology? Because am I the person whose the blood is on their hands for the hundreds of thousands of Japanese people who perished instantly as a result of this? Should I have done this? If I didn't do it, would the US have built it anyways? If I didn't do it, would the Nazis have built it faster, or the Soviets had built it faster, or the Japanese had built it faster, and then they used it on America. That is what this movie is about. And then on the side, he has this like semi-professional rivalry with a senator played by Robert Downey Jr., who many years afterwards, after World War II is over, is like, has decided that he wants to destroy Oppenheimer and basically frame him as this communist. And he hates that America thinks of him as this hero. And he's like, it's the 50s now. McCarthyism is happening. So this senator wants to sort of rally McCarthyism against Oppenheimer. And there are some Senate hearings going on. There's some backroom depositions happening.
Okay.
All of that is happening in black and white in the 50s, which is intercut with pretty much the sort of A to B story of, you know, college age Oppenheimer to Oppenheimer, you know, right when they drop the bomb. It is excellent. There's a lot. The movie is a lot of men in rooms talking at each other. It's 3 hours long.
Do you think it could have used a little bit of a script punch up from Aaron Sorkin?
Absolutely. No, absolutely. Absolutely. It could have. I mean, and that's my complaint about Oppenheimer. I talked about my Barbie complaint. Like, for the most part, this movie moves really fast. Like, all of this stuff that I'm explaining, and it's just like men in rooms being like, no, the isotope should be this isotope.
Oh God, not the isotope.
But it's like, and it's intercut with like legal drama.
So it's like
this movie is exciting
jurisprudence.
This movie is really exciting, and the editing in it, the sound in this movie is incredible. It's like, granted, I saw it in IMAX. Like, I'm sure the sound system is different than like the average theater. This movie is so loud, and the music in it, and the sound effects in it, and the sound editing is incredible. The acting in this movie is nuts. You've never seen so many recognizable like Hollywood actors in a single movie. And like, if it's like a white guy, they slapped a suit on him and they're like, oh, you're Dr. Smith. You were the guy who invented helium or whatever. You're down there too.
I forget. Can you remind me who plays Albert Einstein in the movie?
A character actor.
Oh, it's not a famous. It's not like Paul Giamatti.
No, it's not Giamatti.
Okay, just.
I mean, if I have a complaint about this movie, it's that there's like quite a lot of fucking people talking, and there's quite a lot of like, until the movie wraps up, you're like, there's a lot of like, what? When are they? Where are they? Why are they doing this? I think for the most part, it does at the end. The last 20 minutes or so really frame a lot of what you've been seeing before. And if you had any questions about it, they're mostly wrapped up. But for 2 hours and 40 minutes, you're like, there's a lot of like, what? Florence Pugh is really good in it.
I was just about to say, how's Miss Flo?
Miss Flo?
Yeah.
Is in a scene that shall be etched into my mind forevermore.
Okay.
Because there's Flo gets intimate.
Sure. Don't we all?
Flo gets intimate in this movie. Zach Braff saw the dailies.
And
he sent her the Jonah Hill text. That's all I got to say about Flo in this movie.
Okay.
She's hanging out with surfers in this movie. You know what I mean?
Oh, sure. She's with Oppenheimer.
Everybody's with. There's like only 2 women in this movie, and they're both with Oppenheimer. Emily Blunt is really good. Who plays who?
The president. Who was the president at the time?
Well, it was a mix of Roosevelt and then Truman.
Who plays Roosevelt?
They don't show him.
Who plays Truman?
I do. That's a kind of a spoiler because it's like kind of a big cameo, and it happens like relatively late in the movie.
Is it Michael Shannon?
I wish.
Okay.
I wish. Shannon mysteriously absent from this film.
Oh, that's a miss.
He could have played one. He could have played like a quirky FBI agent.
He has the look of this time period.
Yeah. I know.
Okay.
That's an oversight.
Are there a lot of cameos?
Danielle, there's like,
are there cameos in
150 speaking characters in this movie? 148 of them are white men, and 130 of them are like recognizable actors.
Okay. That's a lot.
There's a lot. You're like, this guy's in this? And he has 2 lines? Like, did they cut another half hour of this guy?
I'll be seeing it this weekend.
There's a lot of like you get deep into the movie and there's like, oh, it's this scientist from this university's here. You're like, holy shit, they got this guy to be in this movie. Why is he here for this one scene? I don't get it. It's really good.
Do you think, first of all, did you know that one of the Nolan brothers is a murderer?
Yeah.
You did know that?
No, I saw the thing. I saw like the triptych or whatever it was. It was like, this brother wrote Westworld. This brother directed Batman, and this one's a murderer.
I thought it was so funny because it was written. It was like in this magazine. I sent Brett a clip of this
Yeah.
magazine clipping that had a picture of the three Nolan brothers, and it was written in the style of Barbie. Like this Barbie goes roller skating, but instead of that, it was like this Nolan brother is a convicted murderer. I couldn't believe it. I really thought it was photoshopped, but this has nothing to do. Do you think Christopher Nolan saw Barbie?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Do you think he liked it?
I bet he did.
I bet
It's
he
an
did
excellent
too.
film.
I think
It's
he's
an
a
excellent.
film lover.
You have to have like complete like Prager University brainworms to not enjoy Barbie. And even if you did, it's like it's so bright and funny. Like, I'm sorry, but like the physical acting and physical comedy in the movie Barbie is just naturally funny.
Yeah.
Like watching Ryan Gosling like fall down and make funny noises is funny. Will Ferrell's in the movie. He's very funny. Sorry, Will Ferrell is a funny actor. Like,
yeah,
watching him cook for like 10% of the movie is good.
Yeah,
it's a good movie. If you don't like either, you're stupid. Like,
yeah,
you're just stupid. I'm sorry.
So, are we thinking? How are we? Do we think this just raised? Because I love Cillian Murphy.
Mm-hmm.
I've always thought he was a wonderful actor and man. I always knew his name was pronounced Killian. But are we thinking this is what pushes? He's sort of like a background. He's sort of like Guy Pearce, where it's like he's always so good in movies, but he's very rarely the star, like name of the title.
Maybe. I mean, he looks a lot like Oppenheimer, and he's been in like a ton of Nolan movies. Like there's a bit of that. A bit of Guy Pearce, a bit of like Joseph Fiennes, a bit of both Fiennes. I don't know if Joseph and Rafe are brothers.
They are brothers.
Both of those guys are like in a ton. Joseph Fiennes was the lead of a movie that won Best Picture. And like a year later, he's like, excuse me, would you like to make that a supersized combo? Like,
well, he also played Michael Jackson in like banned from TV movie. I'm sure it was British. I'm so sure it was British.
And only the British would have such little taste to get that done.
But then he had to like apologize for doing it. But I guarantee you, he played Michael Jackson in this like infamous made-for-TV series.
Oh my Lord!
That's what he's up to.
I think Cillian is like I think he's probably he's like on the level of like Rafe Fiennes. He's like,
okay,
he's in a ton of stuff.
Yeah.
But he's not really going to be the lead most of the time. He looks too scary.
He's really scary. I mean, he's very beautiful, but he's like when he was the Scarecrow, he was scary. Like surprisingly scary for that kind of movie.
Red Eye came out like right after that.
Very scary.
Very scary movie. Peaky Blinders.
I haven't seen
it, but he really runs a gang of like Irish mobsters who
probably scary
beat you up. I mean, if you're friends with them, good. But if you cross them, from what I've seen of film of media about organized crime, they're not very lenient.
No,
you don't pay your bills.
Yeah, I don't even know when Peaky Blinders is set. Peaky Blinders, is it like Gangs of New York times?
Yeah, but like in Ireland.
Oh, it's set in Ireland.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. There's no way I'm watching that. There's no way because it's not.
I think it's a subtitles watch, even for babies who don't use subtitles.
Because don't they have other like non-Irish stars? What I was gonna say is I think if they have Hollywood stars attempting Irish accents, I don't think I can stand that for more than an episode.
No, only British people can do American accents.
Yeah, and Australians can do American accents too, but I'm talking about doing Irish accents.
No, I'll just do Scottish. I'll just mumble.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I guess that's like where Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt. I have no idea what country Tom Hardy is from.
He's British.
Oh, okay. You could say any country, I'd be like, yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Was
South
Tom
African,
Hardy in
sure, yeah.
Oppenheimer?
Hardy is not in Oppenheimer.
That's
another omission.
surprising because he's
That's
a
another
Nolan
omission.
buddy.
Yeah, I know.
He's in the Nolan Playhouse.
I'm saying, like, most actors are in this movie. Not
Right,
Michael
but
Shannon, not Tom Hardy.
You have to admit, I have a talent for naming the ones who aren't in it. Like, I'm doing pretty well. I'm like 3 for 3. Is Adrian
Renee
Brody
Jean
in
Page is not
it?
in Oppenheimer.
Is Adrian Brody?
No.
Wow. See,
He was in The Pianist. That movie was happening at the same time.
You're right.
In a different, yeah.
You're right. He was.
If you're in a movie that takes, you're not allowed to be in movies that take place at the same time period.
No.
So if you're
Kevin Costner in it?
No, okay. Not every actor is in Oppenheimer.
I have to turn a light on because I feel like you can't see me.
Pretty bad for the podcast.
Sorry, but I want you to be able to see my facial expression.
Yeah. Dark here. It's late. So for 3 weeks, you've been like, I need to talk about Adrian Brody. Can we just cross this off this week finally?
I wanted to pose a question to you, Brett, and then by extension, our audience, our illustrious audience of pop culture aficionados. Has there ever been an actor in the history of Hollywood and film who is so incredibly charismatic on screen, but so incredibly not off screen? Like, I just can't think of one. Every time I've seen Adrian Brody in a role, he is the most magnetic, wonderful actor, but he off screen is absolutely a nothing. He should have, the way he acts, he should have Tom Cruise's charisma off screen. Like, he should be a perennial talk show guest. He should be sitting eating the chicken wings with the spicy chicken wings. They should be trying to put, if he had even a thumb of the charisma that he has when he's acting on screen. What is this? This is a derangement syndrome.
I guess maybe that's why I haven't seen, like, I have no idea what his personality is off screen.
All I know is he bought a castle for his ex-girlfriend.
Oh, Jesus.
And she married Chris Hemsworth.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it didn't work out. Yeah.
Upgrade.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about him.
But you've seen The Pianist.
I actually haven't seen The Pianist. I saw
Have you seen Summer of Sam?
No. I saw Asteroid City, a movie which I did not like, but Adrian Brody was excellent in for like 4 minutes.
I know he's canceled.
Succession.
Yeah, he's fine. He's good in Succession. Have you seen Midnight in Paris?
Oh, yeah. He kills it in Midnight in Paris.
He kills it in everything he's in.
Him and the bald fella, Corey Stoll.
Oh my gosh, Corey Stoll. That movie introduced me to Corey Stoll.
Introduced
I've never turned. Yeah, I know. I've never turned my back since. I'm Corey Stoll's #1 fan.
I rewatched Midnight in Paris recently. That movie is great.
Yeah, sorry.
And Corey Stoll, he's
excellent.
A hunk. He's a hunk in that movie.
Holy moly. Holy moly. And they found him a good wig. They can't always find a good wig for these men.
No,
but
I think most people hadn't seen Corey Stoll in anything before.
Yeah, that helped.
And then it's like, who is this actor?
Yeah.
And what luscious hair he has. How has this guy been like, auditioning and doing, peanut butter M&M's commercials for years with a hair like, this guy's John Hamm. And then you're like, oh, you see him in House of Cards, like later the next year. And you're like, oh, it's the same guy?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I hope he puts lotion on. That's
not what you're supposed to do.
I don't know. I'm not bald.
Look, Brad doesn't have this problem.
I think you should be putting sunscreen on it.
Probably. Or they just wear hats. We're talking about them like they're classic people. Well, I just wanted to pose that question. I'm trying to think of another actor who is that extreme level of talent and such an extreme nothing off screen.
You know what? I'll throw a big one. I'll throw a controversial one out there.
Okay.
De Niro.
No, late in life, De Niro turns out has a lot of riz because he's still having kids. So I don't know if
I'm sure Brody's having
he's
kids.
rizzing up his wife and still having children.
I
Matinee in the chat says Corey Stoll in Ant-Man 3 is very difficult to forget. We're gonna have to take your word for that because I'm not
think we
seeing
forgot
Ant-Man
about
3.
we forgot about seeing Ant-Man 3. I think you see a lot of interviews with De Niro, and he's just like kind of monosyllabic. I think
That's
part of
true.
it is a bit. Here's
It's
the
like
deal.
post Meet the Parents,
Here's the
grumpy
deal.
grandpa. Yeah.
Actors, once you meet an actual famous actor in real life, and like not just meet them at the freaking backstage where Jessica Chastain signs your playbill of a doll's house.
Yeah.
If you ever, this is not going to happen to other people. I'm very fancy. I've met many famous actors.
Folks, I've met them all.
I've met them all.
I've met the best.
Baby Gronk. I've in my life living in LA, working in the industry I've met people, and for the most part, I mean, for the most part, everyone's like just a nice regular person. That's the first thing you notice, and the second thing is like, oh, you're an empty vessel. You're not alive until Aaron Sorkin says action.
Interesting.
You channel you're the most human when you're channeling a character, and otherwise you're kind of just like a regular person. Like you're, the same way a painter might be most alive when they're painting.
I'll just say, and to be fair, I did meet them in a professional capacity, but I also have met a lot of famous people.
Yeah.
Because I was booking the talent at HQ Trivia.
You sure as hell were.
But I'll just say, when I met them, yes, it was in a professional capacity. I was like, there were a lot of stars who I was like, oh, you're a star. Like Danny DeVito. You're just like, no, you're meant to be. You were always meant to be. You were always meant to get attention. That's the thing. They need attention, actors. They need it.
Yeah.
They thrive with it. They die without it. They shrivel up. So
isn't Joaquin Phoenix the same way as Adrian Brody? He's like horribly embarrassed by the act doing it, and he's just like,
that's not what Adrian Brody
wounded by.
No, Joaquin is like
life.
Interesting. He's had like infamous David Letterman appearances. He's interesting.
That was a whole thing. That was performance art.
Exactly. He's interesting.
Okay.
Like Adrian Brody does not have that.
Okay.
So I don't know. I don't think this question has been answered. If there's anyone else who's like this, you're saying Robert De Niro, but I'm just, if anyone else has any ideas.
Not wholeheartedly. I don't think about this that much.
I'm going to bring up another celebrity I've met in real life to talk about someone else. And I didn't meet them in a professional. Yeah. I didn't meet them in a professional setting. I actually met them at a hotel.
Oh.
And yes, it is The Rock. So I was at and Brett and anyone else who knows about LA knows a very fancy hotel called the Bel Air Hotel one time.
Yeah, sure.
I was leaving and a beautiful car pulls up. A door opens. A water bottle falls out of the door. And then a humongous foot, followed by an even larger man, comes out. And one of the, all of these hotels have valets because no one parks their own car, rushes to pick up the water bottle. The Rock flashes him a dazzling smile and says, "No worries, man. You're all good." Like, just knows that the second he's out of the car, he has to be The Rock. He has to be charming to everyone. Doesn't matter if you're the shoe shiner, if you're the person bagging the groceries, or you're Mr. Movie Executive. The Rock's going to turn it on for you. And I think The Rock is very calculated. I have nothing against that. You sort of have to be. But The Rock just made headlines as giving the biggest donation to the SAG, ACTRA, WGA too, I think, maybe just SAG, Striking Actors Fund. It's 7 digits, they say.
Oh, wow.
Don't we think that's
so this is a fund? There's a fund for, I would imagine there's a fund for the WGA and a fund for SAG where they are helping to pay bills and support actors and writers who are out of work as a result of the strike, who need it. Like,
yeah, they're not Jesse Chastain.
Chastain's got that zero dark 30 money.
Yeah, exactly.
Zero dark 30 mil. That's what her agent said the next day.
They're like Mr. and Mrs. hey, back off, I got orders on Law and Order,
Yeah.
like they're just cobbling it together. And The Rock is, this donation is going to help them eat tomorrow. I just think that's a very nice thing. And I think The Rock and Mark Wahlberg are responsible for a lot of my least favorite, but also favorite satire content to consume, which is like the grind set bros.
Oh my God.
They're
Yeah.
responsible for that. They're the ones who truly first started saying, I wake up at 3 a.m. to work out. So
The
I just,
Rock does. I don't. Okay, Mark Wahlberg is fit, but I don't see like the 4 a.m. body there. I see the 4 a.m. body on The Rock. When The Rock is like, I get up at 4 a.m., I drink a cod. I take a fish, I put it in a blender,
yeah.
and I drink it. And then I work out for 4 hours. I'm like, I see that. I see those results. I see in myself that I don't do that. And that's why I don't
want it.
You and me are not the same.
Yeah.
I don't see that for Wahlberg. Sorry, continue.
Wow. No, this is, I think, pretty explosive that you don't see Marky Mark's hustle, is basically what you're saying.
I think he's a grind set liar.
Wow. He's stealing grind set valor.
Yeah. He doesn't grind. He doesn't truly grind. He rises, but I don't know if he grinds. Or maybe he grinds, but he does not rise.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I just thought, like, that's what The Rock should be doing, is donating this money to the SAG fund, because he has wrought the grind set hustle on everyone. Yeah, shots are fired. Shots are fired on this podcast. We're not afraid to. So I just thought that was interesting. I also think it was, like I was saying, a very canny move, because The Rock's star is on the fall. His star is declining big time.
Black Adam,
yeah.
bomb. He's lucky. He's lucky that The Flash came out.
Yeah, there's all these clips of The Flash going viral, and everyone's like,
Lord. I sent half of them to you.
Yeah, well, because it's all like, everyone's reaction is like, wait, this was in the movie? Like, this isn't just some deleted scene that got released? Because it's very hard to, it's hard to understand. I've given up trying to understand the plot of any superhero movie, but this one seems especially confusing. I don't like, there are two Flashes. In every clip I've seen, there's two Flashes, but are they played by the same person?
They are played by the same person.
Oh,
the same person who, prior to the strike, the studio was like, Ezra, I think you can sit this one out. I don't think we need you playing tic-tac-toe with Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah.
I don't think you need those hot ones.
No, you don't. You're hot enough.
You do not need those chicken wings.
Yeah, hot enough. Take a breather.
If it gets too hot, we don't know what you're going to say. We don't know what you're going to do.
Yeah. So The Rock needed, what I was going to say is just The Rock needed some good press, but it did work. It did, even though I'm very cynical, it did warm the cockles of my heart.
Good for you. Good for The Rock.
Thank you.
Can we talk about Full Circle?
Yes.
Ladies and germs, there's a new show, and the show is called Full Circle. It's
directed by I'd say a Hey Julie fave director.
Oh yeah.
Sodi.
Mount Rushmore of directors on Hey Julie. What would that Mount Rushmore be?
On
Sorkin, Soderbergh,
sure, Sorkin,
Gerwig.
Who's another? Definitely not Steven Spielberg.
No. You cannot be actually, honestly, it was crazy because he was nominated for this film. You should not be eligible to win an Academy Award after making The Fabelmans. They should retroactively take his awards.
He should be giving a donation in the name of the actors for
he should be giving a donation to me for like the $6 I paid to rent for The Fabelman.
I'm trying to think of like big time directors.
Okay.
Jimmy Cameron.
Jimmy Cameron. We love him.
Good.
Do we like his movies? Sometimes.
All of them, yes. He just doesn't make that many.
He's down in the sea.
He's in the sea.
He's under the sea. He's under the sea with Sebastian.
So Full Circle is on HBO Max in the States and on Crave in Canada. And here's the thing. I thought this show was only 4 episodes long.
It is 6, I believe.
Okay. Well, I was watching it thinking like it was over. And so this is a very surprising turn of events for me. But I've watched all 4 episodes.
Oh, okay. I've only
Light.
seen the first 2. Don't give
I
me
was
any
just about to say
spoilers.
light spoilers ahead. Well, we'll just start with the first episode. This show has all the hits. It's got everything you want from a Stevie Soderbergh show, which is it's got a cast all over New York City. All of the boroughs are represented here.
Welcome to East New York.
And it's got Claire Danes with a bob. It's got
They got Danes wrapped Fleischman, and they're like, you're on the Upper West Side right now. Can you go downtown? Can you go to the Village to shoot Full Circle? And she's like, okay, you need to do anything different with my hair? And they said, don't change a thing about your Fleischman hair.
You're perfect. It is perfect. The hair is a star. Every time they shoot her from behind, they shoot that crisp bob as it shakes back and forth. It's perfect.
It's so crazy that she has this like new life as an actress of playing a concerned mother with a severe haircut.
I mean, no one, I'm like thinking to myself, who else can pull off this bob?
When that woman comes to your store, you're a barista, you're the person who works at the desk at the airport, you're like, I am going to get screamed at right now.
Or you're like, man, this woman has her life together in such a way that I don't think I'll ever have my life together like that. It is so sleek. It is the epitome of sleek and chic. They also have an amazing apartment. The interiors on this show, there's a brownstone in Brooklyn. There's I think it's West Village, like perfect 3-bedroom apartment with a massive kitchen that just got renovated. There's a house in like outer Queens that
with the aquarium in it?
Run out of. Pardon?
No, there's a house with an aquarium in it. CCH Pounder's house. Where she's like having a party.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, got fish here? Oh my god.
There's Washington Square Park. There's Dennis Quaid with a ponytail.
Oh yeah.
There's Timmy Oliphant looking very Silver Fox.
Silver. Yeah. This Silver Fox gets the gold.
I don't think this is a spoiler to say what happens in the first episode. It's the plot of the show, and it's based on a very old book, which is what happens if a rich family's son gets kidnapped, but it turns out they kidnapped the wrong child.
Yes. And do they feel a bit of a, because they sort of received this like ransom note, they like what feeling do they have towards like trying to get this kid back, knowing that it's not their kid, but they still like, they're like, it's someone's kid, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like they have
like
this moral conundrum about it.
Yeah,
as a parent of like, how do we navigate this? Like they're saying, don't call the cops. We were not going to call the cops when we thought it was our kid, but like now are we going to call the cops because it's like definitely not our kid? Like we were going to do everything that the kidnappers said, but now that we actually found out that they kidnapped the wrong kid, like we kind of do want to do the right thing, but also we like want to get the police involved. It's amazing. And then
really
they have this
funny too. It's like Steven Soderbergh has a great sense of humor.
Oh my god!
So you see them like they were ready to pay when they thought it was their kid. They were so ready. They were cutting the check. They were ready to pay. Then when they find out it's not, or when they realize it's not their kid, it's like, well, I ain't paying that. Like you can see the wheels turning. It's very funny.
Meanwhile, you have on the other side of the story, you have this Guyanese crime family that is kind of run by this matriarchal character played by CCH Pounder,
who we love seeing.
I have not seen her in 10 years, and she is back, baby. And you kind of learn about her and the kidnappers, and it's like this. It's very much in the vein of oh God, sorry, like The Wire, not as academic, but like presenting this sort of like rich tapestry of like crime and success in New York, and this singular crime story and how it gets solved, and how all of these little intricate pieces are a part of it. How, you know, from the mid-level guy to the foot soldier guy, their kind of moral issues with carrying out this kidnapping, or, you know, I'm vying for power in the eyes of the matriarch of the crime family. It's excellent. It's like kind of confusing because
It's
it does
super
not hold
confusing.
your
That's what I was
does
just
not
gonna
hold your
say.
hand at all. And you're like,
No.
what? What are they talking about? I can't even understand these people. It's great. I love it.
Which is
I
so fu
watched
yeah.
such a surprise for me, and I was like, I love it. I immediately texted like 5 people, like, you gotta watch this.
This is a show, and I said this to my husband, I was like, "Oh, this is a show where I have to put my phone down because I don't
Yeah.
know what the hell is going on." And there's also, like, so many very specific things and very specific choices that it does make you wanna pay attention, but you're like, "Wait, why does my friends, the Sea Beats, work as a postal at the post office?"
Okay, that's the most confusing parts. Danielle's friends, the Z Beats, is in it. She's like a cop, but she's like she works for the post office, and you're like,
She works at the post office, and
why
she
does
really
she have
wants to race.
why does she have so much why does she have like so much jurisdiction? Why
Yeah.
does she have a gun? Why does she live in this nice apartment? It's
No,
not
she
her
lives in
apartment,
a
it's her
fabulous
partner's.
brownstone that her girlfriend lives. It's her girlfriend's
Who's
place,
like an artist.
and it's
What's
like
this art selling for if she's got this brownstone?
yeah, exactly. And why is the C being so mean to her girlfriend when her girlfriend's got this great brownstone? It
You
just
have a
doesn't
government job.
yeah, it doesn't add up. It does not add up. And so that's why you have to keep watching because you're like, I gotta find out what the hell the C Beats is doing at the fucking post office. What is this job? And then Jim Gaffigan's in it. I mean, there's
My
just a lot
man.
of fun stuff going
They
on.
have my man This is how you know Stevie Sodi has a sense of humor. They have my man Jim Gaffigan eating a hot pocket in the first scene.
He's always I mean, this is a spoilers. He eats
That's Jim
pizza.
Gaffigan's. That's Jim Gaffigan's most famous bit.
Yeah.
Like if you go to the Jim Gaffigan website, he probably has a shirt that says "Hot Pocket" on it.
Yeah, probably.
That's like
He
casting Gallagher in it, and he's eating watermelon. Or
right,
that's
little
just
wink.
like that was just like this show is crazy that they have Jim Gaffigan in it, like doing like drama
Being an
scenes,
actor. Yeah.
and he's eating a hot pocket, which is
I
like the punchline of one of his most famous comedic stand-up bits.
Yeah. So we really like it. So I'm all caught up. I won't give any more spoilers away, but I do think it's well worth a watch. But it's also interesting. Yeah, how would you hear about it? I only knew about it because I saw the little poster on Crave, and I was like, "Ooh, Claire Danes in her bob."
Yeah, I was bored one night and I saw it. I was like, okay, Claire Danes, that's quick. All right, I'm sure.
Claire Danes is now like the patron saint of elder millennials, mid to elder millennials, and their like foibles.
Yeah, she's like she's like the Gen X
Oh yeah,
queen.
she's more Gen X, I guess.
But I think
But
she's
we
a
look up
saint
to
for
her.
them to the millennials, but she's herself not a millennial. I would
True.
say her and Paulson. Get Paul like
Oh yeah, Paulson. Is she in? Is
Paulson.
she in Oppenheimer?
She should have been. She should have
Wow, everyone. I'm
been.
doing so
Again,
good.
that was a stupid question on your part. I'm not calling you stupid, Danielle. But there are only 2 women in this film, and
Oh
we
right.
discussed them.
That's true. That's true. I do want to give everyone just a quick update on what's going on the set of Wicked.
Yes, yes.
Which
Here we
is
go. This is what we all
a
wanted.
musical that everyone's heard of. Brett, you know Wicked very well.
Yeah, I'm not very familiar. I haven't seen the musical. I know about
But you know.
Adele Dazeem and
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, no, I'm familiar with it. Like I haven't seen it or like know any of the songs other than the one song, but
I'll
yeah,
just break
it's
it down real quick
very famous.
because this is a very fun. I mean, it's not fun. It's just kind of funny.
I
Hopefully,
don't know
no one's
anything
really
about
getting
this.
hurt. But anyway, they're making a film version of Wicked, which was a blockbuster musical about the Wicked Witch of the West, told from her perspective.
It's like a prequel to Wizard of Oz.
Exactly. She's a teen in it. She goes away to magic school. So it's, it's perfect millennial bait. It's like
It's very
it's a
YA. It's
it's
like
very YA. It's
pre-YA.
a musical. It's magic. It's kind of Harry Potterish. Like they've got it
Yeah.
all. It's got these great belting songs. So they're making the movie version of it, and Ariana Grande is playing Glinda, who's the good witch,
Mhm.
the witch of the East. I
Who
think.
cares?
Who cares? But she's the good blonde witch, and she previously was Ariana Grande was married. She got married during COVID. Suddenly, like there was a deluge of articles about her and her husband being on the rocks or separating or reconsidering things, having difficulties, whatever. Then bombshell drops, divorce, it's happening. Then it's revealed that she is having an affair and everyone's like, oh my gosh, it's Ariana Grande. You know, she's a superstar. Who would she be having an affair with?
Davidson.
Yeah. Well, getting back with him. She's with him already.
If someone's sleeping with someone, you got to just see where, like, you got to do the Find My Friends app and see where Pete Davidson was.
She already was with Pete Davidson. She's the one who
I'm
started
just saying,
it all.
you got to find where he was. Just
Okay,
rule him out.
It turns out, and this is like kind of tying back into The Bear, she was having an affair with her married co-star of Wicked, who plays not like the cute, there's like the cute romantic lead.
It's like very Frozen-y as well.
Yeah,
Wicked.
yeah, exactly. He's the guy who plays SpongeBob SquarePants on Broadway. And but like the really fun part, I mean, that's sad because that guy, I guess, is married and has a child. So that's actually kind of sad. But what's fun is the wife of the real SpongeBob, the cartoon voice, had to release a statement being like, my husband is not having, like, you know, this is like an old man. Like, he's not
Tom Kenny's like gotta be in his late 50s at least.
She had to release a statement being like, don't worry, my marriage to the real SpongeBob SquarePants is intact. I just thought it was kind of fun. I thought it was kind of fun. I don't wish infidelity upon anyone, but I do think the fact that it was SpongeBob SquarePants is a little interesting.
That Nickelodeon had to put out a thing being like,
yeah, exactly. We denounce.
Thank you for their concern. We denounce. We respect all marriage contracts.
We hear
and relationships. We hear you. The part of SpongeBob tonight will be played.
Yeah, it's Divorce Dad's Summer. And then I wanted to say my computer will charge. I wanted to say one last update on the pop culture front, which is, I don't know if we've ever seen this before. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, invitations to threesomes. It's what Matt May in the chat says. I'm always interested in hearing what's going on out there. That's all I can say. Doja Cat is a musical superstar. She's a musical superstar who is very online. She's got a lot of hit songs. She's big on radio, on the apps. She's big.
Danielle.
Yeah?
Ask me if I know who Doja Cat is.
Brett, do you know who Doja Cat is?
Absolutely not. I have no idea who this person is. Or like
you've heard her songs.
Like I've heard the name Doja Cat. Like I'm aware that this person is a celebrity pop star of some sort. If I sat next to Miss Doja Cat on a plane for 18 hours, I wouldn't recognize her. If I walked into her on the street, if I sat next to her at a restaurant, if I served her coffee at some scenario, I would have no idea. They'd be like, you just served Doja Cat. And I'd be like, I don't know.
Doja. I love Doja Cat as a name too. So she just absolutely despises her fans and is not shy about saying it.
That's amazing.
She's like,
she's invited on the pod.
Yeah, exactly. So she recently, you know how fans call themselves like Selena
Swifties.
Gomez Navy, yeah, Swifties or whatever they call themselves, like BTS
Julie's.
Army,
Little Julie's, as we know.
So her fans call themselves kittens because her name is Doja Cat. And she today, like, she's going on this press tour for her new album. First of all, the first part of the press tour, she was like, all that other music, and she said this like this, all the other music I made sucked. It was stupid pop music that I just made because I knew you drooling idiots would eat it up. Like, that's what she said. And like, this new version is actually what I like. And, you know, I just had to do that to get my foot in the door and you idiots ate it up. So that's what we're going off of. Now she's saying, I hate the name kittens. Like, anyone who calls himself that is a loser. And like, she just is absolutely roasting her fans. I can't think of another instance of this happening. This is a really new take on being a celebrity, on being a musician.
Are her fans like revolting, or are they sad, or are they like, are they like, okay, yes, queen, slay?
Yeah, I think they are. I think it's half and half.
She's serving. Wow.
Drag me. So it's just like kind of amusing to watch. And as someone who like I know her music, I like it. I have nothing against Doja Cat, so I wouldn't call myself a kitten. But being outside of it, it's very amusing and fun to watch. And I love when stars give us something to work with like that, you know? So just big snaps. Slay to Doja Cat.
Stars, they're just like us. They fucking hate everybody who's not them.
It's like the exact opposite of parasocial celebrity, where she's like, "No, I don't want to be your friend. We
No.
will never hang out." Like, I actually am cooler than you. I'm not relatable. I'm not just like you. I kind of appreciate that.
It sounds like what I would do.
Yeah.
I don't want to
Thank
be
you
out at
all.
these Hey Julie events.
Our sold out tours.
Yes, sold out tours, yeah.
Thank you all so
Anyways,
much
we
for
will be at
listening.
Red Rocks August 17th, 7:30 p.m. sharp.
Thank you all so much for listening. We have some very exciting news, which is that next week Big Brother is back.
Oh, yeah, it is.
It's back on August
August
2nd.
2nd. So do you think by next weekend, when we typically record, we will have a cast or no?
I think we
Put your money on
will.
the line.
Oh, this coming weekend. No.
No.
I don't
No.
think so. I don't think we're
I don't
getting
think-
anything this week. I don't think we're getting anything till next week.
Honestly, I think we might get through 2 or 3 episodes, and Big Brother will be like, next week, we'll announce the cast of Big Brother.
Probably.
12-hour Jeff and Jordan retrospective
You know what?
concludes.
Every summer, the producers of Big Brother treat us like Doja Cat treats the kittens. And here we are coming back for more.
Yeah. That is like confirmed, right? That like Big Brother producers hate Big Brother Reddit, hate the podcast, especially us. So.
Probably. I mean, I can't say it's confirmed, but probably. But we're super excited. Oh, finally. It feels like it's been so far away for so long, and now we can say it's next week. Julie released some new key art that she says has hints in it. I can't tell. I can't tell.
Looked at it. I'm very upset that it's going to be like Halloween, and we're going to be like, oh, great. Eric has had a household again. Wrap up the game. And like,
we'll have a Halloween.
Christmas decorations will be for sale when this season of Big Brother is wrapping up.
We can have themed live streams.
Oh, great.
I'll get a little pumpkin and put it up.
You need a candle.
Yeah, I know. I look like I'm in a Christopher Nolan movie right now.
Yeah, I know.
My apologies to anyone watching this, because you're not really watching me.
That was my fault for saying, can you record at 8 p.m.
No, it's okay. I should probably
get a ring light like your boy.
I know. You look great. You look great. I was at one point during the filming, I was like, oh wait, we're still filming.
But at one point during we have not wrapped up the pod yet. Would you like to?
Yeah, okay, let's wrap.
All right. That's it for the pod. You can follow us on X at HeyJulieBB. You can zete us there. Email never dies. Love never dies. HeyJulieBigBrother@gmail.com. That is it. We are like 10 days out from a new season of Big Brother. Hang on. We're almost there.
We can make it. Thank you all so much for listening. Find us on the Discord. We'll see you later. Bye, Ken.
Bye, Barbie.